Hello everyone, this is Sheldon Frith, and today I'm going to talk about natural sleep cycles. This is my first podcast ever, and I'm recording it on my phone, and I don't think I have much recording time, so I'm going to have to fly through this. Let me know how I did. Thank you. So what is a natural sleep cycle? Well, I'll just get straight to the point. A natural sleep cycle is you sleep for about 4 to 5 hours, going to bed with the sun, or roughly with the sun, and then you wake up for 1 to 2 hours naturally. You don't set an alarm or anything, your body just becomes alert, and then you go back to sleep for another 4 to 5 hours and wake up roughly with the sun. So obviously the big difference between that and how most people sleep nowadays is the 1 to 2 hour period of wakefulness in the middle. Most people just sleep straight through the night. And from the research I've done, it seems like for most of human history, pretty much everyone slept like this with this gap in the middle. And most people would probably have sex during this time, or eat dinner if they didn't get a chance to before, or they could do things like art, writing, or dream interpretation or something like that. So how come we don't sleep like this anymore? Well, I'm not sure when the light bulb was invented, but maybe 100 years or 200 years ago, whenever the light bulb was invented, things changed, and the natural sleep cycle got replaced with the one we currently have, which is sleep straight through the night. And the reason for that is a light bulb allows you to be productive and do work during the night, whereas before you would have only had a fire during the night, which you could do some stuff, but you had to keep tending it, and it didn't really provide much light. And so in our society of success and achievement, if you could do work during the night, well, then you better. So the light bulb caused people to start going to bed later and later and not going to bed with the sun. So there wasn't time anymore for this 1 to 2 hour wakeful period in between two periods of sleep. I think this podcast recording is going quite well, actually, because I figured out that I can do it in sections, so I'm not limited by the total recording time of my phone. Anyways, I'll get back to the subject. So, how do I know this is true and that we haven't just always slept like we do nowadays? Well, I've done a lot of online research and found several very good articles on it that really seem to be true, but really not enough concrete evidence for me to base it off that alone. The main reason I know that it's true is because I've experienced it personally. On my 3 long-term survival experiments, I didn't bring any sort of light with me. I didn't even have a fire during the night. So my body naturally reverted to whatever was the natural sleep cycle, and it turned out to be what I had read about online of roughly 4 to 5 hours of sleeping, an hour or 2 of wakefulness, and then another 4 to 5 hours of sleeping. Actually, I would say probably a more accurate description of what's actually natural for humans when it comes to sleep is that it's natural to have a variety of sleep patterns that aren't always the same. And that's really what's different about how we sleep now. So for the most part, when I was in the woods and sleeping just with when the sun was down, I did sleep roughly what I have described before, that sleep pattern, but it changed every night. It was slightly different. I'd sleep longer in the first period, or I would have a shorter wakeful period or a longer wakeful period. And so I think that's really what's what the natural sleep pattern is there's not one pattern. It's varied, but there is usually a period of wakefulness in the middle. I have a suspicion that a lot of modern sleeping problems, like insomnia and just people not really being able to sleep very well. My mom has this, and she just sleeps only like 5 hours a night or something. Because nobody really hears about this natural sleep cycle, when you wake up in the middle of the night and you're totally not feeling tired, there's kind of natural or anxiety comes up because you think you're supposed to sleep all the way through the night. You've never heard otherwise. So when you do wake up in the middle of the night, don't worry. Just kind of do what your body tells you. If you're not feeling tired, then don't try and sleep. Now, I've tried to develop this natural cycle while I'm at home with, computer in my room and light bulbs everywhere and stuff, and it's really, really hard. And I tried doing it with setting an alarm, so I would wake up, after 4 hours and then go to sleep after 2, and that doesn't really work. I haven't really been able to establish the natural sleep cycle at home. I've only been able to do it while out in the woods. But I think you probably could, and I'm going to be trying to. I think the key really is to go to sleep way earlier than usual. Go to sleep with the sun or earlier. And then don't set an alarm to get up. Maybe you can't do this because of work. If you do have to set an alarm to get up, just go to bed even earlier. And I think this will kind of force your body back into its natural sleeping state. So anyways, do the experiment. I will be too, and let me know how it goes, and I'll be keeping you updated as well. Thank you for listening to my first ever podcast.